If you want to celebrate St. Patrick's Day, or hear live authentic Celtic music, or experience the Revolutionary War past, then you definitely want to head to Old Town Portsmouth this March. Stay tuned, we'll tell you why, right here and right now on this episode of Portsmouth Now. Welcome to the Spark 2026 episode of Portsmouth Now. I'm your host, Rob Lauer. During the last months of the Revolutionary War, Portsmouth was under British occupation. And this March, a post such as Portsmouth, a special two-day event will bring that time to life. Our first guests today are Catherine Tribble and Wyatt Kaufman to tell us about this annual two-day event. Catherine, welcome back to Portsmouth Now. And welcome Wyatt to Portsmouth Now. Good to have you here. Now, big annual event that's been going on for a number of years now, and that is a post such as Portsmouth.
Yes, we're very excited to be back again. It's March 7th and 8th, 10 to 4 on Saturday and 10 to 2 on Sunday. We will be mostly out at Red Lion Park on Middle Street, but then coming down that and working our way up to High, we'll have a station at the Farmers Market on Saturday. So if anybody wants to come on out and learn swords and learn about the Royal Navy and then make their way back to the park, we'll have more events going on there. And then Sunday will be mostly around the PACC.
Okay. Now, post such as Portsmouth, tell us what that means. What exactly is the event, the time period that's being commemorated, reenacted?
Mm-hmm. It's the British occupation of Portsmouth in 1781. So during the Revolutionary War, with Portsmouth having a lot of Scottish merchants and the shipyards, they had strong ties to England and they were mostly loyalists.
Okay.
And with Norfolk having been burned early in the war, Portsmouth becomes the major city in the area. So when Benedict Arnold comes back in to try and retake Virginia, this is of course where he would put his headquarters.
And I think his headquarters was literally about 30 yards from where we are now.
Basically the coffee shop, at least the basement, is the foundation of that building, and that's where his headquarters was. So he was here with a German Jaeger unit, some light infantry units, and of course the Navy. So everyone's kind of centered here and digging in until Lafayette attacks it, and they eventually decide they can't really hold Portsmouth well. Mm-hmm. And that's part of what leads to the army ending up in Yorktown, and we know how that goes.
Yes, so, very well for us, not so well for the British.
Side you're on.
Yeah, but this is fascinating. This has been going on now for, I guess, at least 6 or 7 years.
Yes, we started before COVID, and we've been doing it every year as much as we can. I mean, it's kind of fun. People come around the corner and see us and kind of wonder what on earth is going on. It's like, hi, welcome to the British occupation of Portsmouth. You are on the king's side, aren't you? And it's very funny because people look over my shoulder at everybody with the muskets and say, yes, I am on the king's side. And this is how it goes. I mean, everyone has a perspective and a reason, and it's not a cut and dried thing.
No, but that's the great thing about history. History is about learning all the different perspectives, because the present is filled with different perspectives. History is no different in the past.
Everybody has a perspective, and we may look at it in retrospect and think that it's obvious, but it wasn't at the time.
No.
People were making hard decisions for good reasons, and it didn't play out. If it had played out differently, we would have a different view of it.
Right.
So, it's sort of, we tell everybody, it helps us think about other people's perspectives. You have to put yourself in their shoes and say, what are they thinking about this? Not what do I think about the situation, but what did they think about the situation? Right. So, I mean, it's great. We have so much documentation from this time period. We can see all the different ships who are in and out of the harbor, both in 1775 and 6, and then now in 1781. So different things going on and what everyone's thinking and doing is just really very interesting.
But now, what makes this event a little unique, and your participation is not especially adult reenactors, although you're an adult, but this is the Youth Virginia Regiment?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. We are the Youth Virginia Regiment. We recruit from 8 to 18, and our youth are our primary reenactors. The adults are mostly here to sort of supervise. And we teach them swords and black powder and, run around and do the things and do the tactics and then talk the history. Why are we portraying British? Why were they on that side and not on the other side? Sort of as an exercise in thinking about the history and digging deeper. I mean, we've got some youth who are very into the primary sources. They've read all the diaries, they've read the books, they can tell you everything about Ewald, who was here. So just a different way of sort of engaging with the history. And then also because they're here, you know, it engages youth more to go, oh, this isn't just, you know, old people telling stories. This is people my age who are interested in this. Hey, why are you here?
Yeah, and of course, I think it's a great boon for the old people who like history to see, okay, there actually are, you know, young people who are interested in the past
Yes.
and who want to learn from it. Well, how long have you been participating with?
About 4 years now.
4 years, okay. And can I ask how old you are?
15.
15, so since you were 11, that's fantastic. Had you always been interested in history? Why did you decide to get involved in this?
I had always been interested in history, and I found out about the Youth Virginia Regiment in this area, and I watched them do reenactment and came for a couple meetings and then joined up.
Fantastic. Well, I'm rather glad to have you. You look great in the uniform.
Thank you.
Now, if people were watching this and they have kids that they think the children might enjoy this, is there a place that they can go online, a number they can call?
There is. We have a public Facebook page, which will let you know everything that we're doing. We've got a lot of events coming up this year with the 250th starting. I mean, of course, with Great Bridge last year, that was the 250th for that last December. So it's not just July 4th of 1776, it's already started. And it will go until things like this, because Portsmouth is the 1781 occupation. So our 250th is still coming.
Yeah.
But we're on Facebook, so there's a public page. Also, you can email yvrdirectors@yahoo.com, and we'd be happy to answer any questions.
All right, well, fantastic. Well, thank you so much for coming out. Thank you for being here and telling us all about this. And give us those dates one more time for Post Such as Portsmouth.
March 7th and 8th, Saturday and Sunday, 10 to 4 on Saturday, and we will be at Red Lion Park and also across from the Farmers Market at the corner of Court and High. And then on Sunday will be more just where the Farmers Market normally is, around the PACC, from 10 to 2.
All right, well, thanks you for being here, and really come out to a post such as Portsmouth and really relive and learn about maybe a little known aspect of Portsmouth and U.S. history. Our next guest, Jennifer Priest, will tell us about a lecture series, Celebrating America at 250, taking place this March at the Jewish Museum and Cultural Center. Jennifer, welcome to Portsmouth Now.
Thank you so much for having me. I know we've conversed so much over email. It's so nice to actually
And
get
we've
to
set
meet
up
you.
other interviews from
Yes,
the
we
Jewish
have.
Museum and Cultural Center, but finally you're here, and it's great to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now, coming up in March, there is an annual lecture series that's taking place.
That's correct. Our annual lecture series, named in memory of Rabbi Arthur Steinberg, blessed memory, who was the longtime rabbi for Temple Sinai in Hatton Point,
Right.
Churchland. So he was an original member of our board of directors and chaired the lecture series for a very long time. So at his death, I guess nearly a decade ago, we named the series in his honor.
Well, you know, I've met him in the early 80s, and he actually drove me by and pointed at that synagogue out. And I think it was still in use, but he said there were a few very elderly men, but they were fast selling out. It would be closing down. And then he was the one when I was visiting here back in, I guess, the late 90s, early 2000, told me that the plans were underway to basically restore this beautiful synagogue and open it to the public as a museum, that was underway.
Oh, absolutely. Hebra Tillam, named when it was a functioning congregation,
Yes.
ceased functioning in 1986. When there were less than 10 people to make a minyan, the required minimum for observant Jews to have any kind of communal service, you know, they gave up.
Yeah.
And Zelma Riven of blessed memory, a member of the Goodman family and the famous department store,
Yes.
tried in the 90s to do something to stabilize and save the building, and they rebuffed her. Oh, foolish woman. So Zelma was quite a bit younger, and she knew how to play the long game, so she waited, and again in 2000 she started, and we were successful.
Yeah.
Opened in March of 2008, and now here we are with our lecture series.
Yeah.
So we have 4 lectures each year, and they take place in the months of February and March. So we've already had our first one. And they're not necessarily back-to-back. It just depends on the availability of the speakers we select. So lecture number 2 is Sunday, March the 8th. Doors open at 1:30. Lecture starts at 2:30. And speaker number 2 is Rabbi Irving Elson. and he is a retired United States Naval captain and chaplain. So it's very unique that a member of the chaplaincy in any branch of our armed services actually makes the rank of captain. Certainly captain in the Navy is equivalent to a colonel in the Army. And he actually served a stint as the chaplain in the United States Naval Academy.
Okay.
And he will come and speak to us about the contributions of Jews to United States military from our founding to today. And in celebration of our 250th anniversary, that's the running theme of the lecture series. You know, Jews and their contributions to the founding of this nation moving forward. And it wasn't intentional, but it's just turned out that every speaker focuses on some aspect of militarism, unfortunately.
Okay.
So,
military service. And
Right. So the next speaker is a well-known Portsmouth individual, Greg Etroff, who in real life is sort of locally renowned historical interpreter.
And he does the living history tours and plays various characters.
Various characters, extremely well-researched and painfully accurate.
Ask him a question and he'll tell you everything.
Yes, and he also runs the Portsmouth History Museum in the main branch of the library.
Right, yes.
So, and I guess Truth in Lending, right? Greg is also a member of our board. He's in year 2 of his service. So he will deliver the 3rd lecture on Sunday, March the 22nd.
Okay.
I'm sorry, that's Sunday. And he will speak to the contribution of Jews during the Civil War on both sides.
Okay.
Although there were far more Jews living on the Union side and supporting the Union cause, so it won't quite be fair if you count heads.
Right.
But he'll give a wonderful, lively talk. And then our series concludes on Sunday, March the 29th, with Rabbi Michael Panitz, who is the rabbi at Temple Israel in Norfolk, and he's a past board member. And his topic will be a little lighter and highly entertaining. He'll talk about the contributions of Jews in the entertainment industry in support of both world wars.
And that was a huge contribution. A lot of big names in Hollywood made films supporting the war effort
or USO and World War II, right?
Instructional films for troops and all that. Yeah, but that sounds fascinating.
So that's our series.
Okay, so if people want to get tickets, do they buy them ahead of time? Do they buy them at the door? Do they go online?
They can do all 3 of those things.
Okay.
So our website is jewishmuseumportsmouth.org, and they can purchase their tickets online if they'd like. They can pay at the door, either write a check or with cash or scan a QR code to pay online. We're very casual. This year, we were a little behind the 8 ball organizing ourselves, so there isn't a series ticket purchase. You just pay per lecture, $25. That includes your talk and a very nice little spread, things to eat and drink.
Great, fantastic. And of course, now the museum, the synagogue is open for tours, but you call ahead and make an appointment for that?
You have to make a reservation in advance. Our hours aren't necessarily set in stone. And if I could just add a little tag on, if that's all right. So the month of January is our cinema series. Every Saturday night in January. And this January, they were 5 Saturdays. And in this January,
there was some snow.
We had 3 weekends of threat, and we didn't really get anything. So that means that the concluding film of our January cinema series is Saturday, March the 7th.
Okay.
So it's a Kirk Douglas classic, Cast a Giant Shadow, loosely based on a real life story of a former military officer, Army officer, who went to Israel shortly after the founding to help stand up what eventually would become the Israeli Defense Force. It's kind of longer film, so while the doors always open at 6:30, the movie will start at 7, so it's important to be punctual. Still lots of good things to eat and drink, far more than just popcorn and candy.
Okay.
It's a free will offering, free, but donations are appreciated. And this is where we thank sincerely the City of Portsmouth and the Portsmouth Museums and Fine Arts Commission. They provide a program support for our cinema series this year.
That's fantastic. Well, there seems to always be something going on.
We certainly hope
so.
The year. So that one Sunday in March that I left out, March 15th, is actually our Spring Daffodil Project.
Okay.
And it'll be, weather dependent. Hopefully it'll be dry and we can start outside. We'll have the rabbis the senior rabbis both from Temple Emmanuel and Virginia Beach, and B'nai Israel in Norfolk come and give brief welcomes and talks, and it's a family-themed event. We'll have children's crafts and eat treats, and then we'll have some folks from Jewish Family Services talk about what they do to support the needs of children at risk throughout our community. Quick plug for JFS, people maybe hear that name outside the Jewish community and think, oh, well, that's like social services for Jews, and that's not the case at all. Jewish Family Services provides a myriad of social service events for everyone. In Hampton Roads, Southside Hampton Roads.
Well, fantastic. Well, thank you for coming here and telling us about these events. And again, give us the website one more time if people want to visit the website.
jewishmuseum.org.
All right. Thanks. So good to meet you, Jennifer. Thanks for being here.
It's so nice to be with you. Thank you for having us.
Bye.
This place that I call home. Explain it to her.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Even the mighty might not see it coming. It's prediabetes, and it captures 1 in 3 adults. But you can escape. Take the 1-minute prediabetes risk test to know where you stand and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. Be your own hero on smartphones everywhere at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Have you ever helped a fellow veteran?
Of course.
Yes. Have you ever asked for help yourself?
It's always tough, right? I always feel like I can solve my own problems, but eventually, you just can't deal with it on your own.
And you start to question, maybe people would be better off without me. When you realize that you're not alone, once you take that first step, there's so much support.
America's favorite March holiday is, of course, St. Patrick's Day. Returning to our show is Neil Dewey to tell us about a St. Patrick's Day festival that's taking place in Old Town where everyone is welcome, whether they're Irish or not. Neil, welcome back to Portsmouth Now.
Rob, thanks for having me.
Oh, glad to have you here. Now, you're here to tell us about the second annual St. Patrick's Day Festival that's being sponsored by St. Paul's.
That's right. We're back for our second year. We're expanding our options. We learned a lot last year, including definitely pray to St. Patrick for good weather. Last year we had a bit of a nor'easter, but we still did it. We powered through. Everybody had a good time. We sold out of food, so it was a success. But this year we're praying for good weather. That's the key this year.
Okay, so what day is the good weather hopefully coming on?
It's going to be Sunday, March 15th. The event's from 2 o'clock to 6 o'clock. It's right in front of St. Paul's Catholic Church here in Portsmouth.
Okay, and that's the Sunday before St. Patrick's Day.
The Sunday before, yeah. It's on a Tuesday, so.
Right.
I mean, a lot of people can't go out and drink a keg of beer on a Tuesday. Some people can, not everybody can. But we're gonna do it on a Sunday.
Great. So what will people find if they come out?
So this year we're going to have some expanded music options, live music. This is something we're pretty excited about. We're going to have the Irish Drinking Band. Which pretty on the nose, but they're going to be good. Live Irish music, like as we had last year, but a little bit more of it. So I think we're doing some of the similar things that we did last year, just kind of more, trying to take it up to the next level.
Okay.
Really, get some enjoyment. We're going to have actually, and this is also exciting, 2 varieties of beer. Last year we had just Guinness, which was fine. Guinness is good. But this year we're going to have 2 different beers from our friends down the street at Post-Secondary Brewing.
Great.
So local business. They're great partners for us. We're going to have an Irish Red and we're going to have a Stout. So people should be happy.
Okay, and food-wise, what's going to be good?
Food, we're bringing back the corned beef. The corned beef is definitely in the works right now. That takes a long time to cook. It's already happening. So we are working on the corned beef, but we're also adding Irish stew. We had an Irish stew last year, which was actually a backup option. People turned out to really love this Irish stew, so we're making it a main feature this year.
Okay, great,
yes.
great,
yes.
Fantastic. And there's also going to be tours of St. Paul's inside the church, which
yes.
is a historic building.
Yes, last year we opened up the church to tours and people really enjoyed it. This year we're opening that back up again so people can look at our beautiful stained glass, look at our high altar. St. Paul's is a church with a lot of history.
Yeah.
It's actually the 4th building on that site. in Portsmouth. We've had a couple that have burnt down through various means, some nefarious, but this one is about 110 years old, something like that.
Yeah.
French Gothic style. It's a beautiful, beautiful church building. It's got a lot of wonderful stained glass, and including not one, but 2 stained glass windows devoted to St. Patrick.
Okay.
So, yes.
So tell us a little bit about St. Patrick.
Well, interesting thing about St. Patrick, he wasn't actually Irish. He wasn't born in Ireland. He was actually born in Britain. After the Romans pulled out, Britain was kind of in a bit of chaos. And so when he was a boy, he was captured by Irish raiders, and he was brought into slavery in Ireland.
Okay.
And after a period of time, he escaped from Ireland, went and became a churchman, and then he returned to evangelize the Irish pagans, and he had marvelous success as it happens.
And thus he's the patron saint.
Exactly. Everybody knows the story of St. Patrick and the shamrock, and using the shamrock to explain the Holy Trinity, that sort of thing. And so that's one of the things that we do kind of want to bring out here is sort of that Irish heritage, yes, but also sort of this distinctly sort of Catholic Irish heritage, those kind of things, opening that up to the world a little bit.
Great. And of course, seeing the church itself is beautiful. It's one of the historic houses of worship here that
Indeed.
feature on the Steeple to Steeple tour every year. It includes a synagogue and churches of various denominations.
And for those who are interested, the Steeple to Steeple tour is going to be in May, I think. I actually do that talk myself now. So I'll be back for that one in case people can't get enough. But yes, and so it is. It's a wonderful place. It's got a lot of history behind it. And so we're just really happy to share that with the community. That's really what we want to do, is open it up to the community and be a welcoming place for people to enjoy some fun and some fellowship. Just have a really good time and in really good weather.
Yes.
We're counting on you, St. Patrick.
Yeah, I know there's a fee for the beer and the food.
Yes.
Is everything else free? I mean, people just show up for
the
music and
we are charging for food. So tickets are $12 for a plate of food. And beer tickets are separate. They're, I think, $5 per drink. So you can show up, you can buy some food. You can also show up and you can just enjoy some music.
Music?
Yeah, just kind of wander on through. But if you'd like to be served some food or beer, you have to buy a ticket.
Okay, you buy tickets there on site?
Yes, you can buy them on site.
All right, fantastic. I think you have a Facebook page.
I know, we've joined the early 21st century, everybody. So we do have a Facebook page this year, which has some more details, including the times, the specific location, the date, all that kind of thing. And we'll use that to post updates in case there is anticipated weather. We can make a call on that.
Okay, that page is, I think, St. Paul's St. Patrick's Day Festival.
Something like that. I don't have to.
If they go on Facebook and put St. Paul's,
if they search it on Facebook, they should find it. They should find it.
Well, listen, good luck again. I hope I have great weather, and I hope everyone comes out and really enjoys it.
I do too, and we hope to see everybody there.
All right, thanks for being here.
Thank you very much, Rob. Appreciate it.
This month, Portsmouth Community Concerts will present the Sean Healy Celtic Band. Here are Ken Woodard, along with Andrea and Colin McGlenn, to tell us about it. But Ken, welcome back to Portsmouth Now.
Thank you.
And welcome first-time guests, Andrea and Colin.
Thank you.
Now, you all are here to tell us about the upcoming concert being sponsored in March by the Portsmouth Community Concerts, and that's the Sean Healy Celtic Band.
That is correct.
Okay, Ken, you are with Portsmouth Community Concerts. Why did you pick this particular artist and these musicians?
Well, part of our mission is to offer a concert series and artists that are internationally and nationally known. And it's especially nice when we can have a hometown Portsmouth person come and perform with us. So we shop with Live on Stage in Nashville, Tennessee, and they offered a Celtic group from Canada. And we knew the price, and it was a lot of them, and hotels and things, and we decided, let's contact Sean Healy. And I don't know if you know, but Sean's grandmother actually served on the board of directors for community concerts.
I did not.
He came to our concerts as a child.
Okay. And and now you are with the band, the Sean Healy Band.
Yeah.
Now, how long has the band been in operation? How long
have
you been
involved?
involved?
The band was originally created around 8 to 10 years ago, around when Sean was in his Strathmore residency up in Washington, and there he met Tracy, which was his original piper, and Kevin, which is his guitarist. And it was the trio originally, bless me, when I had time out of school. And it slowly grew over the years into what it is today.
Well, now, what do you play? What instrument?
I play the fiddle or the violin, whichever one you call it. It's more scenario-based than anything.
Yeah, all right. So what drew you to Celtic music?
My grandfather originally came from Scotland, and when I was very young, he picked up the fiddle, and I was like, wow, that's really cool. And obviously being Scottish, he wanted to lean a lot more into the Celtic music, so that's what he did. And he now has a band, Glasgow Kiss, and that was my inspiration to get into Celtic music.
Fantastic. And of course, you're Paul's mom.
Of course,
so,
yes,
so
indeed.
you're the link there generationally, I suppose.
Of course, yes. Both my parents are from Scotland, so yes, when Colin actually expressed when he was 3 that he wanted a fiddle, we're like, all right, let's do this. And so the Gran and I kind of made things happen, and we traveled all over, and it's been so much fun.
Oh, I bet. Now, your parents are from Scotland originally?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And you were telling us a little before we started rolling a little bit about their history, how they came to be in this area.
They came here, they originally came to the U.S. to see the world, of course, and if you ask them now, they're still looking, they're still exploring and such, so, but yeah, they just came over actually with General Electric a long time ago, and they, like I said, were up and down on the East Coast. They came here to Portsmouth and totally loved it and have not left.
Okay,
so it's
they're like
fantastic.
Old Town.
They do.
All right. Well, Ken, when is the concert? Where is the concert?
The concert's at I.C. Norcom High School Auditorium, and it's on March 20th, and the doors open at 6:30, and the concert gets underway at 7:30. We do have a nice surprise for our concert goers, and there's a woman, Carol Downing, and she was Sean's violin teacher, from what I understand, and she'll have her students there in the auditorium performing while people are being seated. So,
sort of like a pre-show act then.
exactly.
Pre-show
So we're
entertainment.
real thrilled with the connection there.
Well, that's fantastic. Now, is this the 3rd concert of your season?
This is the 4th out of 5.
4th? Okay.
And the feedback we're getting is each one is progressively better.
Okay.
And so we're saving the best 2 for last. And we're excited, this is happening, and it's happening here in Portsmouth.
Okay. Now, the last one is coming up in...
That's May 1st.
May
It's
1st.
a group called GQ Gentlemen's Quartet. And that show is everything from Beethoven to Journey.
Oh, wow.
So there'll be
Quite a
a
range.
fusion of genres and rearrangements of pieces, and it will prove to be a very exciting show. There's a variety of instruments, and it's just going to be fabulous. There is a female vocalist along with the group. So.
Okay. Now, again, I've talked to you about this in previous episodes of the show, but when was Portsmouth Community Concerts founded? Quite a while ago.
It was. We're in our 87th season, and at the Sean Healy Celtic Band concert, we'll be announcing our 88th season. 1938 is when a group of Portsmouth citizens went to New York, and they wanted a community concert series here, and they came back with a 4-season contract, and we've been operating ever since.
I would assume back then it was probably more classically oriented?
Yes, and over the years that's changed.
Absolutely.
You do have to change with the times. Baby boomers are getting to be the senior citizens, so, you look at things they might enjoy, and it's just been a wonderful road. I'm just thrilled it's lasted as long as it has.
Right. Well, in Celtic music, really, I know there's been a real resurgence of interest in that over the last 30 years or more, but that's only grown. But that really has had an influence, wouldn't you say, John, on a lot of genres of American music? I would think that there would be a sort of a Celtic influence of country western and folk music and things like that.
Most definitely. A lot of the original settlers here were, of course, from that area, from Scotland. And so anywhere from all the way up in Boston, all the way to California, especially in the mountains, you'll see a lot of influence with bluegrass, old time, even country. There's a lot of just, if you trace back the roots.
A lot of Celtic influence.
A lot of Celtic influence.
Well, it sounds like a lot of fun. So, okay, you're his mom. I'll treat you like a state mom. Why should people come see this concert?
Because it's fun. The music is so wonderful. Both Colin and Sean Healy, they're national Scottish fiddling champions, and for the US, they travel everywhere. One of the other performers is Kevin Elam. He is an All-Ireland male singing champion. these are all top-notch, high-notch musicians, and together they just sound absolutely fantastic.
Again, just because they're local doesn't mean that they just play locally. You all play nationwide. You have a national reputation. So you really, like you said, really lucked out having them here.
Yes, indeed.
Right. Sean Healy, he's actually had a Celtic Christmas tour, and so they actually, just went on tour. They went 9 different states, had 12 shows, and that was the entire month of December. But still, they fly everywhere all the time. Like I know this past weekend he was down in Florida. They were taken out to Colorado, but so it's definitely an international band, and it's so much fun.
All right, and again, Celtic music fits in great with America's favorite holiday in March, which is St. Patrick's Day.
Coming right up.
Even though the Scots are not the Irish. I understand. But, okay, so give us the date one more time and the location for this concert.
It's March 20th at 7:30 p.m. at IC Norcom High School Auditorium. Lots of convenient parking right out front. And you can purchase tickets online at portsmouthcommunityconcerts.com. And the single tickets are $25.
Okay, can these also be bought at the door?
And we do offer tickets at the door, cash, check, or charge. So show up about 6:30 and we'll get you taken care of and get you a good seat.
Well, Dan, it sounds like just a lot of fun. It was such a pleasure meeting you both.
It was.
Let me just add to this is that, of course, there also will be a bagpiper that's part of the band, and there's also a dancer, too. So it's definitely a visual effect as well. So it's going to be so much fun.
And all the cool array of instruments.
Show.
Fun instruments, too.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming here. And really, be sure to check out Portsmouth Community Concert when they present the Sean Healy Celtic Band. Old Town Portsmouth has the largest collection of historic homes north of Charleston, South Carolina, and south of Alexandria, Virginia. And our friends at History Alive, through their fabulous walking tours, bring that history to life. Our last guests today are Karen Washburn and Pastor Sylvester Colvin to tell us more. Karen, Pastor Colvin, welcome to Portsmouth Now.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you, Old Town has a rich history, tons of history here. And History Alive is the organization you're a part of. They bring that history to life in a lot of different ways.
We do.
So tell us a little bit about the work of History Alive.
Well, one big way that we bring it to life is with our Heroes in History excursion. And we call it an excursion because it's not just a walking tour. At the end of the walking tour, you actually get to go inside Emmanuel AME, which has their ongoing congregation. It's a living church.
Yes.
But also a historic church.
Very much so.
So the two things together make for a really nice tour because you have people there that are really excited about their church. And Pastor Colvin could probably tell you about that part of it, and then I can tell you some more about the rest.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about the history of Emmanuel AME.
Absolutely. Emmanuel AME is the oldest serving Black church in Portsmouth, and we are a sacred worship place, a place of worship, and we continue to worship there and have for years. And we started worshiping there even when we're not allowed to worship on our own, under supervision. And that congregation continues today after joining the AME Church in 1857, and we still serve today.
Wow, 1857. So now there's some history there as far as the Underground Railroad?
Absolutely, absolutely. And when you come to visit Emmanuel, you'll get to see where the enslaved were hidden, where the lookout places were until it was clear to rush them under the pulpit area where the choir currently sings. And then we rushed them down into the basement area and out to the river, where they got on boats and off into Maryland.
Okay, and because Portsmouth was a port city, this was a way to catch the boat north.
Absolutely, and the boat captains were very helpful in that process. And once we got them down to the river, they were able to get on board and go off to Maryland.
Wow.
And other places.
And that's amazing, that's fascinating. Now, this is a big year, 250 years since the signing of the Declaration of Independence. So I'm sure that a lot of your programs and you're involved with that.
Yes, and we've had a lot more interest in this particular tour because of that, and all of our tours really, but this one in particular. And we're going to be doing it during Portsmouth's celebration of Sail 250. You know, the tall ships are coming in, and for African Americans, on the one hand, it might be a reminder of the fact that they transported slaves. But there's so much more that happened during that area, including, as Pastor was talking about, the Underground Railroad is part of it. The blackjacks, many free blacks took to the sea. Some runaways took to the sea as well. They found inequality and they found an equality aboard ship that they, just like in battle.
Yes.
When you're dependent on somebody else for your life, for your very life,
You're not
when
going
you're
to-
eating and you're drinking and
Right.
you're sleeping with the same people, there's a bond that is created there that they couldn't find on land.
Yeah.
And so a lot of them took to the sea, so that you have that. The ferry was manned entirely by blackjacks. So, which is to clarify, that's the name that black sailors were given during that time. So, and also the free blacks that decide to return to Monrovia and start the colony there, that decide to colonize, their ships were tall ships that left here as well.
Wow.
So there's a lot of African American history associated with the age of sail. And so we're going to be highlighting a lot of that, and one way we're going to do it is with these tours.
That's fantastic. Now, do you offer you have other themed tours as well, or you have historical reenactors that basically from all periods of Old Town history?
We do.
A lot of different groups. I think there was a rabbi at one point, a rabbi character.
Yes.
And,
Rabbi Atchel, he was the first rabbi here in Portsmouth. So we have a Homes in History where we highlight the entire history of Portsmouth. So there is some African American history in there too, of course. And then we have a ghost walk as well now.
Okay.
That tells you, mixes history.
So is
with
the
stories.
ghost walk a year-round thing?
That's year-round. We don't do it in October because we don't want to,
the Old Town Ghost Walk.
in any way be in competition. Not that we would be in competition. There's thousands of people come to that. We've got 20 people walking with us.
Right.
But we don't want there to be any misunderstanding as to which one is which or anything like that.
Oh, okay.
So we don't do it in October, but the rest of the year, we do it, and we actually have one stop on the tour. Todd and Jerry, that they own a house that they sometimes will let us come in that is haunted. If they're home, they'll just open the door and let the whole tour in, which is really cool. But yeah, so we're offering a lot. We're doing our best to tell the history as accurately as we can and tell people a lot of things that they didn't know before.
And the different perspectives of history.
Yes,
I was interviewing earlier some folks with the Post Such as Portsmouth event, and they were saying that learning history is about learning all the different perspectives.
It is, and we just had some TCC students come on this walk.
Yes.
And we got glowing reports from them, and they were especially complimentary about the interior tour. They said, to be able to enter a church that's still vibrant and have the people in the congregation actually share the history, because originally we never went in. Then we went in, but our guides did the interior tour. But thanks to Miss Ruby Greer and the pastor, they've got their own team now, and it's very exciting how they tell their story. It's very, very engaging.
Well, when it's your own community and your own church and congregation,
and the expressions we get when we're actually able to show the actual pews that were built by the enslaved and how they built the inside of the sanctuary, even though we modernized it now for comfort. Back then, it was a basic place of worship. Yeah. And even if we couldn't worship together with the other congregants, the pews were strewn around the gallery, around the church, and they were able to worship there. Even in the balcony, we can still see those benches that were built way back then.
That's amazing. That's fascinating. That is. So if people want to find out more about the various tours, is there a website that they can go to?
Yes, they can go to historyalive.info. And they can find out, and the phone number's there, the email address is there, and just call. And we're mostly doing groups now. We don't have a regularly scheduled tour, although the city is working toward that.
Right.
Hopefully for the spring. But groups can call and
then generally, how small would a group be? Or what's a minimum for a group?
Well, sometimes we'll do a private tour for the Homes in History walk or the Ghost walk, and we require 4 people for a minimum. But the tours, the excursion tours, like going inside a manual, usually about 10 to 25 people will have.
So if an organization or a group of people want to get together and go on a tour, it could be a group of friends.
Absolutely. And we get that all the time.
Yeah,
and schools, we do schools. In fact, we're doing a school on Friday. So we have adjusted the tour for elementary school students all the way up to high. But the elementary ones, we don't worry about dates or anything like that. We just tell the stories.
Right.
And of course, we tell them in a way that protects the innocence of little minds.
Sure.
So, but they love it. They love it. We have a teacher that's come back 5 years in a row with her class.
That's fantastic.
It, so,
okay.
yeah.
Well, give us the website one more time.
It's historyalive.info.
All right. Fantastic. Well, thank you both for coming here today and telling us about it. And really be sure to check out historyalive.info if you want to learn more about these fantastic tours here in Old Town. That's it for our show today. If you'd like to find out more information about any of the events featured on today's show or any other events taking place in Portsmouth in March, simply log on to www.portsvacation.com and then come to Portsmouth, where if you give us a day, we'll give you a vacation. I'm Rob Lauer. Join me in April for another episode of Portsmouth Now.